Welcome to the social circle where creators come together to turn ideas into impact and goals into a reality. I am Candace, and this is
Jennifer. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And thank you for joining us from wherever you are and exist on this world and planet and timeline. Crap, you guys, this is like a year, and I think we need a refresh. Do you not agree?
yes. Yeah, it's been a minute since we talked about this one, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of other creators won't talk about this. A lot of other creators will only show you the glitz and the glam and the good.
Yep.
But today we're going to talk about burnout and what other creators are not saying and what they're not going to tell you.
Yep, it's a very interesting follow-up to a call or an episode that we had earlier in the year, and I think it's all that thing, it's a big circle, right?
Yeah,
It all
it is a
comes
big
back.
circle, like the social circle.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why we called it the social circle, isn't it?
Yep.
Because it's all a circle. Like
Yes, it
you're
is.
constantly learning inside of this circle. And that's so I love that, Jennifer,
We're
that you
always
just said
brought
that.
back to the same things, and
Yeah.
it feels diluted but repetitive, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah. And today we're going to talk about what that actually looks like, how we have both gone through it. I mean, heck, before this call, we were just talking about how we're both feeling burnt out in our own ways, right?
In life, as an employee, as a parent, it's just you just feel it from all corners of our worlds.
But we are going to give you some things that help us get back on track without quitting, including this podcast. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button now so you
Yep.
don't miss another episode in the future.
Boom. I know you just touched that subscribe button. Thank you for that. I felt it. So, a couple of our circle hacks we wanted to go over. Circle hacks are just some simple little tidbits that you can walk away with and help out on your own content, your own business, whatever it is you're here for, whatever it is you're doing. These are some things that we want to share with you, what we've seen, what we've experienced, and hopefully this will help you out. So like Candace was saying, what creators aren't talking about is that immense burnout that people are feeling. It's more common than it's admitted. And I think that we like to gloss over, whatever our people pleaser feelings are, or whatever we're feeling that, our energy is to just pass it over. It's going to pass. It'll go away. It don't. You got to work through it. You got to work on it. You got to work through it. You got to accept and admit it, and it'll show up and it'll come through, and you end up getting through it. I think something that I'm personally experiencing is just that overall I'm not where I want to be feeling. And that
Yeah.
that comes from I've done things every single day that I hope to move forward. And to be blatantly honest, everybody, this is hard work. This is not something that you just hit post just to get looks at, right? You're not on TikTok just to have somebody say, "Oh, that's so funny." No, I'm here because I'm trying to help the next person who has an amazing idea. You just don't know how to get it out to the public. And social media
Exactly.
right now is our choice of
Yeah.
public. And I think it's something to say it's in how you show up every day. And it does burn you out because you do feel like you're trying so much, but you're not seeing the results you want to see where you want to be. Candace, what are your thoughts on it?
I feel like for me, burnout, it doesn't just hit me. Like I don't wake like one day I'm not great and then the next day I wake up and I'm like, "Oh, I'm feeling burnt out." It's something that builds and
Yeah.
builds and builds and builds and it gets worse over time if I don't address it.
Yeah.
So, our circle hack, like we said, is just some signs that you can see within yourself when you may be starting to burn out and you can kind of pull yourself out of that black hole because you got to pull yourself out.
Yeah.
But if you're constantly doing the same thing and you're not seeing any progress, I mean, definition of insanity, right? You're just
Right.
spinning your wheels, but you're not seeing any progress. Feeling guilty when you're
Huge.
not creating content or learning or editing. About you, Jennifer?
Oh god, I get that all the time. I feel guilty that I don't spend enough time with my kids because I'm on my phone looking up ways to improve on my content and or reach the audience I want to reach. That's just a personal thing that I feel, and I'm sure that happens to many people. If you're not a family person, this may not be something for you, but if you are, that's my opinion on it. I feel like when I'm creating my content and it just begins to feel like it's a chore, it
Mhm.
doesn't come through the way I want it to. And then it flops because your energy is definitely seen and felt in your view of in people's phones. They see it on their side how much this just looks hard for you. And then they're like, yeah, pass. I don't want to be involved in that. Don't include me
Right,
in that. Don't bring me down, right?
right.
I think something that's very easy and just takes too much energy, that feeling is just like, "Oh my god, why is this so hard?" It's just
Mhm.
you've done so much for so long. You didn't admit it. You didn't stop and slow down. And I don't know, what else are you thinking, Candace?
For me, it's when it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
When it's like you said, when it becomes a chore, when I wake up like this morning.
Mhm.
For example, I woke up this morning and I like my morning time and I sit down and I plan my content for the day and I get everything ready and I try and do it across multiple platforms. Sometimes I end up stuck on one for a really long time, but
Doom
so I try and
scroll.
do that in the morning. But this morning I sat down and I was like, I got nothing. Like I am blank. I told Charlie, I said, I just have no artistic motivation to even do this. And I'll be honest with you guys, I used old text and old stuff that I know works, and I'm just posting that today because
And
that's
there it
where I'm
is.
at.
That's your hack, guys, right? That's
That's
the thing that you can do in the moments of this complete burnout feeling and fatigue is to just say, I am not in it today, but I'm going to use something that I know works.
yeah, exactly because it's easy things just feel more difficult.
Yep.
And why waste your energy? Just like you said,
Yeah,
Jennifer, why waste your energy on that? Uh, put your energy somewhere else. Figure out where else you can put that motivation that's still gonna be it may take a little diversion on your path, but it's still moving you forward.
I love that. Super awesome right there. I think that it's, like I said, it's good to admit it that you're feeling this way. That's why we have our community, guys, is because we want
Mhm.
you to come in and say, oh my God, I'm feeling like that's the kind of thing that we want to help you work through because we had that
Yeah.
ourselves
Oh,
when we were going through the beginning stages, or even now we're in it for 3 years. And it's just, we get the feelings, guys. And it's something that I think the importance behind our social circle community is that we're here for each other because being this entrepreneurial standalone kind of thing is a hard thing to do when one, if you're like my situation and you don't have a family or friend support inside your personal realm, right? Everything is an online support, and that's okay too. It's hard, but it's
yeah.
okay to go through that. Candace, you've got an amazing circle. It took a minute, but
I
you
do.
have an amazing circle
Right.
around you.
I do now. I'm super blessed. Quick sidebar, but I am very blessed. My daughter, I've got her doing unboxing videos now.
Woo!
Like my 15-year-old guys, this has been 3 years in the making. When I
Right.
started, they were like, "Ew,
Ew. So cringe, mom.
you're so
Stop.
cringe," and they still say that, but they enjoy doing the videos now and they
Right.
enjoy seeing my progress, I guess, through, even the little things. So I
And that's the reality of it is that
yeah,
it takes just like if you were to work out, eat better, or anything like those things, it's those small daily interactions of change that you have to choose to make. You have to choose it. Whether you do or you don't, there is no try. Yoda, yeah? So I think it's
absolutely.
it's either you have to or you don't have to. You can't just pick and choose this is going to work now or later. It will work later. You have to believe that it will, but you have to do the thing today to make it work later on. And that's something that I've had to repeat as a mantra for myself, is that it will work. I have to believe that it will, even when the days that I just feel like I'm going in all the wrong directions, nothing is working the right way like it used to. It could be glitches, things I'm not aware of. It just could be me as an energy. And that's when, posting those things that have worked before on on our content is a really good way to just in the moment keep doing it even though you don't
Hmm.
feel like it.
Yeah. And listen, if you caught yourself saying, oh, that's me, or nodding along with anything that we said, that may be your sign that something needs to shift a bit.
True.
So, yeah.
A
So,
pivot,
going
yeah.
into our main topic, what is the difference between just being creatively fatigued or creatively tired and exhausted?
And true burnout. Those are the two things that we need to kind of identify, because it's creatively you're fatigued, right? You are just drained feeling. You don't have the I'm going to keep with energy because that's a real thing.
Yeah.
You just don't have that inspiration. Yeah, you can have the strategy planned out, you can have a plotted course, but you could just be exhausted of being on the same course because it's a repetition thing. And I remember
Yeah.
seeing somebody comment a while ago on a mentor that I have, that they're saying, why do we need to repeat ourselves? It is so boring to me to say the same things over and over again. Who has ever seen a TV show, for example, that they have come back to weekly? It's the same storyline, it's the same routine of what they're doing in the show. It's the same laugh, sadness, anger, whatever you're watching, but you are addicted. You
Yeah.
continually come back to it over and over again. It's because the same things have been appearing for a certain amount of time. You have now developed that trust with that show. Like, I love this show. I can rely on this show. It is here all the time at the same time with the same thing. Sometimes it'll look a little different, but it's still, you're telling the same story in those shows, and that's your content. That's how you're building that community trust, is you're
Hmm.
showing up in the same type of way, and that's what lets your people know, I'm here to stay. This is my community for you guys. We're here for each other, whatever your reason is, right, for your content.
Right. And that, don't get caught up in that hustle culture.
No.
And I'm guilty. Guilty because that's my mindset. That's just how I work. It's my human design. That's
Mhm.
just, it is how I am designed to work. But sometimes you hustle so hard that you burn out.
Right. I think that's the thing too, is that you're so focused on making money. That's the only reason you're doing this, is because you need that money. I need that money. Candace needs that money. And
Hmm.
we have our other things going on in our life that continually bring in the money. We just need to see more of that for our families, for our livelihood, for whatever future we're trying to present for ourselves. This is something that every one of us is experiencing, and that's where working and pushing and ignoring is just a bad mix, and it can
Yeah.
lead to all of these different feelings of just, I can't do it anymore, or I'm not doing it right. And that's
Yeah.
why we need to reframe what we're thinking, that
Absolutely.
it's not so much of it's all me, it's just a more of what needs to change, alter, pivot, whatever word you want to put in there.
Even when I think I'm not hustling, it creeps in through, I can see it when I'm doom scrolling, when
Yeah.
I'm comparing myself, when I
I
get
hate
that
comparisonitis.
imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
I owe
Yep.
it. I've got to post because my people need me. There's other things that they could watch. That's like my
Yeah.
But what actually helps you, Jennifer? Like, what do you, no, what I said, like, and I'm trying to stop doing that,
You're
guys.
good. I
So
think what helps me to answer that question is admitting that I'm feeling that way, number one. That's been my biggest thing, because a lot of this work that I do is mental.
that is
And
so true. That I
it
could not
it's
agree
my
more.
truth. it
I
it can
could
be
not.
yours too.
That's where it starts, right?
It
In
does.
your own brain.
Oh God, yeah. I've compared myself, I've judged myself, I've done so much more to myself when nobody is watching, that it was ludicrous how I was acting. And it really helped so much more when I stepped up to myself and I said, This is not okay. This is not how you should be feeling. There is a way, and I know it. I just need to find it. I need to know how to ask that right question. And so that's when it started to be, okay, I need to figure this out. So how am I doing it? Well, now I'm seeing other people are saying the same thing. Well, how are they doing it? And it has that nice domino effect when you start to say, this doesn't feel good. I need to take a
Mhm.
minute. And then you
Mhm.
just regroup, refresh. The topic of today's discussion is this mid-year refresh, right? This is something that we all need to remind ourselves of, is to admit to ourselves that we are feeling a certain kind of a way. Yes, we've gone through these patterns and these routines for 7 months for this year so far. It's okay if a lot of things have not led up to what you needed it to. You still have today and every day from the future to change something small that can
Mhm.
lead to something large.
Absolutely. And here's a great example. This podcast. We have great listeners. Thank you all for listening and for
Love
downloading
you.
and subscribing across Spotify and iHeartRadio and Amazon and Apple and all of the platforms. But I noticed that our videos weren't being watched as much on YouTube. So what did I do? I took a step back. After about 10 episodes, I took a step back from editing the videos so
Yeah.
intensely. I took a step back from editing them to the caliber that I thought YouTube needed. But not a lot of people are watching our podcast anyways. So that's why I kind of took a step back because a lot of people are listening and we appreciate you and we love you for that. So I saved myself a couple of hours editing the podcast by not doing those fancy little video edits and the text on screen that pops up and all the fancy stuff.
Sure. And that can always come back later on after the brand has made its way to the public
Absolutely.
eye the way we want it
Mhm.
to. And there's nothing
Absolutely.
wrong in taking that break for now, because even if we were
Mhm.
to look back at our content over the last couple years, right?
Yeah.
From the very start, it's changed, it's modified, it's altered, it's grown. That's the whole point. That's the whole idea behind what you're doing. Yes, you have a end goal. It's all going to suck if you don't know how to start, if you don't know what you're doing in the beginning. That's why it's necessary and a part of your success to have somewhere to say, guys, I'm freaking drowning. I need help.
Right.
And this is where I don't know what to do. Can somebody say, here's your help, right? This is what
Exactly.
we're for. This is why we have this podcast. And it's a little therapeutic for myself, I think for Candace as well. But I
Mm,
think that's the thing that everybody needs once in a while too.
yes, and if you are feeling like I can't take a break for a whole week, that's crazy because that's what I think in my head when I'm like, a whole week? What? I went on a
Right.
cruise and I had all my posts scheduled and planned and ready to go before I went. Like, I can't imagine. But take a micro break.
A
Give
day.
yourself permission
Yeah.
to put your phone down for a day because you just don't want to deal with it.
Yes. 100%. I think Sundays are my rest days. It's usually Saturdays or Sundays. I'll take the whole day where I don't post a thing. And I do feel like the following day I'm like, okay, I'm recharged. I'm ready to run into it. It's a come as you are, guys. Do this as
Right.
you can. Don't be hard on yourself. The burnout is a feeling that's real, but you can get through it. You can push past it. It's important to ask yourself, what can I alter? What can
Mhm.
I pivot from? If it didn't work for you, what can you move into that will make it work?
And we are not sponsored by them at all, but outsourcing things like using repurpose.io, which I've talked about a lot because that helped me grow my YouTube to monetization. It wasn't like snap, crackle, pop, it did take time.
360 days.
Right. But exactly. But you outsource things like that. Repurpose.io, ManyChat,
Mhm.
Beacons has smart reply, things like that that could save you time. Look into those because time and money, you've got to weigh them. You're weighing them
Right.
constantly. So which one? A lot of those are not expensive to
True.
outsource.
True
So
that.
something to think about. It's okay to take a break. And for example, in our social spotlight today, we have a group member Candy, who kind of started with us in the beginning. I feel like maybe shortly after us. And she had an account, she grew her account and took a really long break because of life, almost a whole year, I believe. And she's come back now. She's been in the game a couple of weeks and lifestyle account, and she's growing. And she already knows now, taking that time off, refreshing and knowing what she knows about creating content and then being in the group and having the help and the coaching from us, she's been able to realize all of those things, and she's growing her account and her views are consistently going up. That is a great story of somebody that was successful and just got life happened and got tired and took a really significant break, and now she's back at it. So we will attach her Instagram down in the show notes. I am Coochie, but it is Candy, and she's in our community as well. So that's where you want to go if you need some help,
Take a
because
peek,
that's,
ask her a question, guys. She
yeah.
definitely will be able to help out. And I do want to say also, guys, is that we do talk about mindset a lot because I feel like today's podcast episode was related with mindset, which we do have an entire section inside of our community under our classroom. It's the very first step of building your confidence and mindset in relation to what we're doing here. It's really intuitive on there, guys, and I think it's something that you should definitely hop in there and check out if you wanted to come inside our community and to help you break down your own barriers, break through your own walls, and get through what you're working on with all of this. It's tough. I get it. It's definitely an 80-20 thing. You got to put in the work, right? And the mindset is where you got to start at. And this is something that we've felt very passionately about. We've like I said, I admit to myself every day when I'm feeling a certain kind of a way because that's how I can process. That's how I can say I need to put a pin in it. I need to come back to it and I need to work through this because this is not doing me any good with what I'm trying to do with my own content. So check that out, guys, because it's a very intuitive walkthrough on how to work through it, break through things, and just in overall get over this stuff that kind of feels like you're getting stuck in one place, and it helps you get through that, along with everything else in there. And I gotta say, it's all really good stuff. If you
I
want
was going to say that
to go for it.
on top of helping you with your mindset, there's activities in there to kind of get you to to work through shadow work, but not that deep, right? Inside of the community, mindset. If you're burning out, you've got to go back to mindset. You got to give yourself the space and the permission to step back and look at your mindset and say, okay, this is
Agreed.
deep down really why I'm feeling this way. And this is how I can get myself out of it, one small step at a time. And that's what that's all you really need to keep moving forward is one small step. You don't
I
need to take
agree.
huge leaps
Yep.
every day, but you just need one small step to keep moving forward.
100%.
Being burnt out isn't a weakness. It's just your
A human nature.
business.
It's a
Y-
human nature, guys.
Yeah, it's telling you to slow down. That's okay. Look at your schedule this week and ask yourself, what can I change?
Mhm.
What can I eliminate? What can I do less of that is not bringing me joy? If that's creating content, then make sure you reach out to us so we can talk first because we've been there. I wanted to
Yeah,
give
for
up
sure.
earlier this week. So,
Don't
but
give up, guys. Don't give in to
don't.
that fatigue. Just say, I need a pause. I need to have somebody help me through it. And if you're watching it on YouTube, hey, hello, message it into that comment section so we can say, yep, we got you.
Yes. And make sure that you come back every week to this beautiful podcast because we love you all, like we said earlier, and we appreciate you listening. And we really do want you to not make the same mistakes that we have and just get there so much faster.
Heck yeah. Every person that has achieved success has stood on the shoulders of a giant before. So you cannot forget that either, is that this is all a culmination of someone else doing something great, and we are seeing how they did it and understanding how. This whole thing is a part of it, is getting through that burnout feeling. And I want to say that if you're feeling like you still need some of that extra help, or you do really need some mindset work, we want to help you on that. So if you want to comment, I'm out here on Instagram at Jen_Radilak, and Candace is over here at Just the Blended Wells. And I think that if you're following up with, not following up, that's horrible. That's such a work term. I'm sorry, guys. If you're subscribing and following our podcast, thank you very much. If you know somebody who wants to or needs to have this thing and you thought of them first when you were listening, definitely share it with them because we appreciate your support. We grow when you guys grow us. We understand better when we can help you guys understand better.
Have a great week.
Have a great week.